We are continuing to cover this suicide bombing in Manchester.
We were in Arena and we had a bang and I just run for my life.
This was among the worst terrorist incidents we have ever experienced in the United Kingdom, and the worst ever to hit the north of England.
I was at home, I wasn't working that night, and I got called by one of our senior managers to say there'd been a dreadful incident in Manchester, that they were enacting what we call our major incident plan, and would I come in and help?
It was different this time. It was eerie in one way because this is our home. This is the sort of thing that you read about in the papers. It happened at a children's concert. And that was shocking in itself. And I think that is the thing that struck us most, that we were actually under attack.
For me personally, it wasn't until they went through the CT scanner and you could see nuts and bolts that you have in your toolbox at home in these bodies, these people. But to see that in people, it's horrendous, and it's something that I will never forget.
This was whole families, so we got older patients that you realise themselves weren't there, so they must have been there with relatives, granddaughters, daughters, etc. But we were only receiving a part of the family. As a mum, that's really difficult because you know that their relatives are somewhere, but you don't know where they are. There was a particular lady that they all stick in your mind, but the particular lady who was holding your hand, asking me not to let her die. The staff are amazing, all of them, doctors and nurses. I'm responsible for the nurses, but what I saw when I got to work, when we initiated a major incident, we do training for this, but it's not quite the same as when it happens for real. And they were incredible, absolutely incredible. I couldn't be more proud. They enacted things to the letter. They were calm, professional. They were incredible.
I went home and cried, phoned my mum, cried, went to bed, cried, and just that response did come. And for me, it just seeing my family helped massively. As I finished the shift, so the two then started to link that actually we've just been involved in a terrorism incident.
When you get home, that's when you start to be you again, and that's when you take off the uniform. That's when all the emotion starts to come. You start to realise the reality of what's just happened and how that's going to impact life outside of your uniform. To take a positive spin on that, we know we can do this now. We know that we can do this major incident. We know we're ready. We know that the training that we've done works. We know what we can do better. 22 lives were lost. It's too many, but there could have been 100 more. And that just shows the response of the NHS as a whole. We were one of, I think it was 8 hospitals involved in the response to that bombing. So we're a very small cog in a huge machine that saved all these lives. I think it reflects hugely, and it's something that we need to cherish.
The NHS has got its flaws, it has. But when the chips are down and when something like this happens, we have got an incredible resource at our disposal to deal with incidents like this, and we're incredibly lucky to have the NHS. It is an incredible organisation, and I think what we did see that night was the NHS at its very best.
I would call us heroes.